any advice on how to write a job description or ad that appeals to as many people as possible?
Do I?
Yeah.
That is my favorite thing ever. Thanks for the question, Vern. So job descriptions are a really funny thing because the way that they have been versus the way that people want them to go, there's a lot of, I feel like people are nervous about what they could be losing when they change their job description. But let's think about the candidates and the people that we're bringing in already, right? So the likely chance is that because we're asking this question, we're not seeing the candidates that we want, but we're using the same thing. And so we have to go back to that logical thing in our head that says, okay, are we insane if we keep using the same thing and expecting this different results, right? Right, we are insane if we do that. So if we're talking about being attractive to a more diverse candidacy, then we need to start thinking a little bit more outside of the box. And some of the things that I usually talk about when it comes to job descriptions are, what sort of pronouns are we using within that job description? That's the number one thing that most places get wrong, to be completely honest. Pronouns are a huge deal these days, and you're really not going to get far if you're not including people in the story of that job description. So she, him, they, them, using the right pronouns at the right times are really going to build that out. And so when it comes to engineering, there's a lot of he, him. It would do wonders if just as an experiment we use she, her, right? Just as an experiment. And I'm not saying that that's the best strategy, but companies have done it before, and they have specifically placed their job description in places where women are most frequent so that they're starting to see it. And when we're talking about people who are non-binary, making sure that those pronouns make sense as well, just being inclusive in that language. Other things that are really important when it comes to job descriptions, statistics like women will not apply to jobs that have more requirements than necessary. And so one of the things when I'm approaching someone who's asked about this is everything that you have here necessary? In other words, are these like to haves or are they necessities? Because a lot of times, an example that I've used in a workshop is one of the job descriptions I had something around 87 or so requirements for a role. And this is a company that we all know and love, right? And so it's like, okay, if we see a job description that has 80 some odd requirements for technology, which means you know all the languages, of course, you know all the implementations, of course, all the frameworks, everything in regards to technology, then you're not going to get very many women applying, because research has shown that we don't apply for jobs that we have the potential for. We apply to jobs that we know we can get, right? And so think about your job posting and understanding what are you including on what is required. Also, some other easy wins are building out that story. It's also a place where a lot of bias can be built in, but I think if you put some time and effort into it, you can figure it out.